When I was playing, I used to try to go look for suits, and regular places could never find them. And, of course, me being who I am, I could pay $15,000, $2,000 for a suit. But, I always thought that the big guys always had the options that were very bland, the plaids and the old school grandpa options. So I have the biggest purchase in Walmart history.
Really?
70,000.
What did you
What?
buy?
70,000. So I
In
get
Walmart?
Yeah, in Walmart. So I get traded from Miami to Phoenix, and I'm the type of guy I have no patience. So when I get to Phoenix, they have an apartment for me. Nothing's in it. So
especially because we climbed all the way back in and definitely had our opportunities late. And then a few different miscues, and it's back to a 2-possession game, and we couldn't quite get over the hump there. So, like AB said, like it's a good little taste of, what's possible for this organization and for this franchise. And there's a lot for us to, hold our heads high about.
I was walking one day in Beverly Hills, and I found a wallet. Usually when I find wallets, I just take all the money out and just throw them.
Sure.
But this is a nice wallet, so I looked, and it said David Beckham. I was like, can't be. And I looked at the ID, and it was David Beckham. So I didn't want to just give it to the front desk, so I tracked him down. I was like, David. During the time, it was very traumatic.
Yeah.
And on the way to the surgery, he was very nervous, so I had to make up something. So this is a story I made up, because he was shaking and trembling. I said, hey, you're about to go to surgery. It's going to be a beautiful nurse come in. Her name is Anesthesia.
What's the difference now in this level of play now that you're playing with these professionals versus who you play with and against at Iowa?
I would say the biggest thing is just you can't take a second off. No matter who you're guarding, no matter if you're on offense or defense, like you breathe for 1 second and you're not looking at your man and she's on the other side of the court. So I think that's the biggest thing is everybody's so skilled. Like this is the most competitive league.
It's no secret that Shaquille O'Neal, towering both literally and figuratively in the basketball community, knows a thing or two about spotting talent. His journey from initial skepticism to full-blown admiration for Caitlin Clark's game has been nothing short of a fascinating trip down the lanes of credibility and skill. Shaq had his doubts, as any seasoned veteran might, but those doubts quickly dissolved once he witnessed Clark's dynamic on-court presence. Clark, with her killer instinct and jaw-dropping shooting range, didn't just catch Shaq's attention, she demanded it. O'Neal has been vocal about what makes Clark the real deal. It's not merely her stats or the points she racks up, it's the way she turns the game on its head, making each play look effortless. In Shaq's eyes, she combines the raw athleticism and strategic prowess that characterize future greats. To him, it's like watching a prodigy blossom into a maestro, one three-pointer at a time. Comparison between Clark and Reese. Now let's talk about the big elephant, or shall we say, the two towering flamingos in the room, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Shaq's insights into the rookie race are as sharp as his elbows in the paint. He doesn't pull any punches while analyzing the fierce competition between these two burgeoning stars. While both Clark and Reese are phenomenal, Shaq points out that Clark has a certain edge. It's as much about presence as it is about performance. Furthermore, Reese's injury has unfortunately tilted the scales. For O'Neal, it's crucial not just to look at the numbers, but to analyze the impact. When Reese was sidelined, it became glaringly obvious how crucial she is to her team. But that gap also spotlighted Clark's consistency and resilience. O'Neal's breakdown is refreshingly candid, acknowledging Reese's undeniable talent while subtly nudging towards Clark's relentless grind and steadiness. He's not just giving props. He's opening the floor to fans and fellow athletes to appreciate the subtleties of the game and the players who play it. In a nutshell, Shaq's gaze doesn't miss a beat. Through his lens, we get a closer look at not just who is performing well, but who's poised to redefine the game. And in this rookie face-off, it's clear that he sees Caitlin Clark taking the driver's seat, at least for now. Shaquille O'Neal's perspective. When it comes to basketball, Shaquille O'Neal is nothing short of a legend. His insights can make waves whether he's on the hardwood or speaking from the sidelines. But recently, it's his admiration for Caitlin Clark that's been turning heads. Initially, O'Neal wasn't fully on board the Clark hype train. Maybe it was his natural skepticism, or simply the fact that it's hard to impress someone who's seen it all. Yet, as Clark continued to light up the court with her electrifying performances and relentless determination, Shaq became one of her biggest champions. So, what flipped the switch? For O'Neal, it came down to a few critical qualities that Clark embodies. First off, her unyielding work ethic. Shaq has often raved about her ability to take over a game, describing it as a blend of raw talent and unrelenting drive. He praises her vision on the court, her lethal shooting range, and that intangible it factor that makes spectators' jaws drop and opponents quake in their sneakers. In his words, this girl is the real deal. But you can't bring up Caitlin Clark without mentioning Angel Reese. The Rookie of the Year race isn't just a casual footnote. It's the headline, the drama, and the emotional roller coaster all rolled into one. Shaq's insights into this fierce competition are a masterclass in basketball analysis. He doesn't just see two players vying for an award. He sees two titans who are redefining what it means to be a rookie in the WNBA. According to O'Neal, Clark has an edge, a term he uses not lightly. It isn't just about stats or highlight reels. It's about Clark's ability to adapt, to lead, and to make clutch decisions in high-pressure scenarios. Reese, on the other hand, had her trajectory shaken by an unfortunate injury, and while she remains a formidable presence, O'Neal contends that these setbacks have impacted her momentum in the Rookie of the Year race. But here's where it gets interesting and a bit spicy. When the debate over who truly deserves the title kicks into high gear, Shaq is unwavering. He believes that had Reese stayed healthy, the competition would be even tighter, making the race more exhilarating for fans and analysts alike. O'Neal doesn't dismiss Reese's prowess. Instead, he acknowledges the what-ifs and could-have-beens that shaped the narrative, adding layers of depth and intrigue to the story. So, as the WNBA season unfolds, the world watches with bated breath. Will Clark continue her meteoric rise and secure the Rookie of the Year title? Or will Reese bounce back with a vengeance, adding a thrilling twist to the tale? One thing's for sure, Shaquille O'Neal's perspective has added another dimension to an already fascinating saga, igniting conversations that will echo through the halls of hoops history. Shaquille O'Neal's perspective. All right, let's talk Shaq, a legend in basketball, a titan with opinions that carry weight, and recently, a vocal supporter of rising WNBA star Caitlin Clark. When Shaq first laid eyes on Clark's game, he was skeptical. Like many, he wondered if the hype was real or just another flash in the pan. It wasn't long before Clark's court prowess erased any doubt. Her agility, sharp shooting, and game intelligence turned O'Neal from a skeptic into her biggest fan. Shaq now refers to Clark as the real deal, highlighting her ability to not just play, but to transform the game, breathing fresh air into the league. Admiration for Caitlin Clark. What does Shaq adore about Caitlin Clark? It's her unyielding tenacity and innate skill. Think of Clark as a maestro, orchestrating plays with a finesse that belies her years. O'Neal has seen his fair share of extraordinary talents, but Clark has a unique spark, a sort of magnetic charisma that makes you sit up and pay attention. He's particularly enamored by her long-range shooting and court vision, which remind him of players he once faced on the NBA courts. According to Shaq, it's as if Clark absorbs the energy of her team and remolds it into something greater, elevating everyone around her. No wonder Shaq's singing her praises like she's the next big thing, because to him, she already is. Comparison between Clark and Reese. Of course, the spotlight isn't solely on Clark. Enter Angel Reese, another phenomenal rookie who has been creating just as many waves. O'Neal's been pretty vocal about the rivalry brewing between Clark and Reese. And why not? It's the stuff of sports drama with a capital D. Shaq sees Reese as an incredibly versatile player, a powerhouse in her own right. But when you stack the two against each other, O'Neal believes Clark has a slight edge. The buzz has been even crazier with Reese dealing with an injury, sidelining her at a crucial moment in the season. Shaq doesn't dismiss Reese's talent, not for a second, but he points out how Clark's consistent, explosive performances have kept her a notch above in the Rookie of the Year race, at least for now. So, there you have it. Shaq's perspective brings a refreshing take on the Rookie of the Year race, and his admiration for Clark is more than just lip service. What we have here is a tale of two incredible athletes destined to reshape the WNBA, with Shaquille O'Neal amplifying their narratives. And in true Shaq fashion, his endorsement comes as a stamp of authenticity, making the case that these rising stars are not just the future of the league, but its present game changers. Advocacy for women in sports, equal pay and support. Shaquille O'Neal has never been one to mince words, and when it comes to women in sports, his stance is clear. It's high time for equal pay and support. Shaq has been vocal about closing the financial gap between male and female athletes, underscoring that the excitement and skill brought to the court by giants like Caitlin Clark deserve just as much recognition and compensation as their male counterparts. It's no secret that the pay disparity in sports is staggering. While NBA players often sign seven-figure deals, WNBA athletes are still struggling to secure financial stability. Shaq argues that equitable compensation isn't just about numbers. It's about respect and acknowledgement of the hard work these women put in and day out. He believes increased fan involvement is pivotal in making this shift. Fans have the power to transform the game, literally. Show up, buy tickets, wear the jerseys. That's how you make a statement. Response to Barkley's remarks. And what about the naysayers? In typical Shaq fashion, he's ready to face them head on. When Charles Barkley hinted at professional jealousy being the root of such advocacy, Shaq didn't hold back. "It's not about jealousy," he retorted. "It's about giving credit where it's due. Talent should be acknowledged, period." To emphasize his point, Shaq often cites the phenomenal A'ja Wilson, whose talents have been frequently overshadowed, despite her extraordinary impact on the league. He stresses the importance of highlighting diverse talents within the league, not just the ones grabbing the headlines. O'Neal sees figures like Wilson as prime examples of true sportsmanship and excellence, deserving of the same recognition and support afforded to any legend in the making. By standing up for female athletes, O'Neal hopes to inspire change, advocate for fairness, and ensure that every young girl aspiring to be the next Caitlin Clark or A'ja Wilson knows she has an equal shot at glory, recognition of talent in the WNBA, acknowledgement of players. Let's face it, recognizing talent in the WNBA is like finding hidden gems in a treasure chest. Every time you open it, there's something new and dazzling to be discovered. When giants like Shaquille O'Neal throw their voice into the mix, it amplifies the conversation about players who sometimes don't get their due shine. Sure, Caitlin Clark's name is echoing through the basketball community, but let's not forget the luminaries who've been carrying the torch for years, like A'ja Wilson and Diana Taurasi. These players are more than just stats on a sheet. They're the heartbeats of a league that's brimming with depth. Wilson, known for her resilience and all-around game, and Taurasi, a living legend whose play is poetry in motion, exemplify the level of talent that spans the WNBA. Shaq's recognition of these players is a reminder that talent runs deep and wide in women's basketball. It's a call to broaden our spotlight beyond the flavor of the season and celebrate the consistent excellence and contributions of all players. Earning respect. Shaq's perspective on merit-based recognition in the league isn't just talk, it's a blueprint for elevating the sport. His applause for Clark isn't merely for her current accolades, but for her relentless hustle and potential to etch her name alongside the greats. But it's not just about making it to the top. It's about staying there and proving that you belong. Clark is on a journey, one that's paved with hard work, perseverance, and the constant drive to excel. What Shaq's insights epitomize is the importance of earning respect through consistent performance and showing up when it counts. His message is clear. The league is bursting with talent, and every player has a shot at greatness if they are willing to put in the work. For the fans, it's a wake-up call to pay attention to the whole roster and appreciate the myriad of stories and skills on display. After all, every highlight reel has its unsung heroes and upcoming stars. It's high time we started celebrating them all, and there you have it, a roller coaster ride through the fiercely contested Rookie of the Year race and the passionate advocacy of one of basketball's biggest icons, Shaquille O'Neal. Through Shaq's eyes, we've delved into the brilliance of Caitlin Clark, watched the trials faced by Angel Reese, and got a taste of the broader challenges within the WNBA landscape. What stands out from O'Neal's controversial yet undeniably earnest perspectives is a clarion call for not just equality, but also respect for these phenomenal female athletes. Shaq's championing of equal pay, fan support, and merit-based recognition isn't just about highlighting a problem. It's about proposing a dynamic shift in how we engage with, support, and celebrate women in sports. As we reflect on O'Neal's trailblazing comments, we are left with a provoking question. Will the league embrace Shaq's insight and elevate the visibility of its game changers? The answer may hold the key to a transformational era in the WNBA, a future where talent is celebrated without reservations and every player's hard-earned accolades are acknowledged. That, my friends, is a future worth watching.